Now, just to make sure, I sent you. It's Jacob, right?
Yeah, my first and last name are the same, believe it or not.
Yeah, I thought it was a typo when I first got it, but then I went back and reviewed it, and sure enough, Jacob.
Yeah,
And Northwood, you're head of their esports team, right?
correct.
Okay. And what I read from the press release is you guys now are going to be in the World Championships in Turkey. How appropriate for Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah,
But it's
our
the
first
country
group,
turkey, not the bird, right?
right? Yeah, actually, our first match, we're gonna kick it off. Or no, the grand finals are gonna be on Thanksgiving Day in Turkey.
No
So,
kidding.
yeah. But yeah, the process here so far is we just had the national championships here in Chicago, and Northwood University, our Valorant team was able to take it home and we became Team USA to represent the United States over in Istanbul.
Ah, well, Matt also knows much more about esports than I do, so go ahead, Matt.
Well, yeah, I'm at Lawrence Tech here, and we have an esports team here. Danielle Sarikas is the coach, and they've been, pretty successful at a variety of games. For people who don't know, talk a little bit about, I guess in general, we'll start with what esports is, and then you can get into talking about Valorant a little bit. But in general, what is esports?
Um, the best way to explain it, it is video games. But the big difference between just playing video games and esports is going to be the competitive aspect of it. There's going to be teams, there's going to be competitions, tournaments, leagues, all that stuff. And these players, they're constantly practicing. They're doing film review just like any traditional sport. And these kids are putting in the work. They are students here and they have to balance all of this practice ethic and this discipline while focusing on their academics. And so, easiest way, like I said, competitive video games. Valorant specifically, like you asked, is it's uh, it's a shooting game, but it's a little bit more cartoony. It's a little more animated than a lot of them. It's not hyper realistic. It's a lot of fun, and it's a very tactical game. You have attackers and defenders. You have to slowly take over sites, initiate stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's actually really fun to watch. It's one of the more easy to digest video games if you have at least a little bit of knowledge, but I wouldn't recommend someone who doesn't watch a whole lot of video games to check out Valorant.
And the thing that may surprise a lot of folks is it's not just some guys sitting in their basement, doing these games. There's a lot of people making a lot of money doing these games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people, a lot of people want to do this. There are kids practicing at home trying to become the best. And for those who do become the best, it's insane. Video games are so accessible. So if you are the best in something that everyone does and everyone plays, it's a huge deal. And all these brands, Intel, all these technology brands want to put their name on the best teams, on the best players. And big corporations like that means big money. And so it all kind of feeds into itself. The market is, it's a multi-billion-dollar market, esports is. And this tournament, the World Finals we're going to in Istanbul is in the Volkswagen Arena. Like this thing can fit so many people, tens of thousands of people.
Hmm.
And esports in general has easily sold out venues like this. It's so unbelievably popular.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know the first high school tournament that we sponsored here at Lawrence Tech, the game being played was League of Legends, and there were a couple hundred people in our one of our auditoriums, and the game was, put up on a big screen behind the two teams. I think one was from Troy and one was from Bloomfield Hills or Birmingham, I forget which. And I didn't know enough about the game to know what was going on, but every so often people in the crowd just went crazy, like it was a sporting event. They just watched a slam dunk, right? People really get into this.
Yeah, it's, League of Legends is probably the hardest one. I do not blame you for not understanding what's going on. If I didn't play that game, very actively, I would be lost as well. And a lot of people are. But it's another very tactical game, and it's a very, fighting focused game. It's an open battle arena type thing. And when people are out playing each other, when someone is, being the better player, getting that slam dunk, it's incredibly fun to watch. And for those people whose hobby is esports, that kind of thing is attainable. You can go home, sit down while you're practicing, make those same plays that everyone just cheered for. And, it kind of is self-fulfilling. Everyone wants to be a part of esports, and it just grows from there.
And
Now,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I was just going to point out, I did check out your website earlier, and you're also among the best programs in Rocket League and Overwatch. Talk about those games a little bit, if you could.
Yeah, Overwatch is another shooting game, a lot more cartoony. There's abilities, it's all animated, but the strategy is there, and it's one of the most intense games. There is a lot going on, and so Overwatch has a pretty good, viewer base. It's very, exciting game, and we have, recently we've been dominating Overwatch for esports in the collegiate scene for a very long time. But our team is better than ever. Northwood is doing incredibly well this year. I've been a lot more active with everything, and it's been exciting to bring these teams forward. But more importantly, Rocket League is basically soccer, but you're driving cars. Think of it, bumper car soccer, I guess. Also, very, very intense game. And we actually just recently won the World Championships for Rocket League as well. So we are looking to be 3-time world champions, 2 times for Valorant, 1 time already for Rocket League.
And I assume it's kind of similar to when you have a very successful sports program, football, basketball, whatever, and you're winning a lot, then the very best and the brightest want to participate because they want to be on those championship teams. Is that what you guys are experiencing?
Absolutely. We have a lot of the talent that we have, kids looking to go into college, turn their life around, attain that degree, move forward. They want to, be the best. And Northwood is the best. We are the best program. And we get a lot of interest. And the program is growing. At this point, we make up a very large percentage of the student body. I think we're approaching 10%, which is massive. Yeah. And so on top of that, esports is more than just competing. A big thing is that there is a business side about it. I mentioned that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So Northwood being a business school, we have business-minded students coming in. They want to do the marketing for these events. They want to handle, the business side or the money or the event management. Event management is huge right now. And we are able to recruit these insanely talented students to help the program grow, not just competitively.
Yeah, there are also, if it's like it is at Lawrence Tech, and I'm sure it is there are esports scholarships available, right? So you can help pay for your college by doing this.
Absolutely. Yep. We do offer scholarships. We want to be able to make Northwood a satisfying offer for these students coming in. It's one thing to have a massive program and to be the best, but we got to support the students that are making us the best. We thank them for everything.
And like all other professions, only a couple of percentage of them actually get to the top. However, like for instance, using the basketball and football analogy, not everybody goes to the NBA or NFL, but they get a great college education. And in your case, these are positions that are in great demand, even outside of the esports realm, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing is Northwood has actually, we have proven results with both sides of things. We've had a Call of Duty player go pro. We've had multiple Overwatch players go pro. One of our Rocket League players is an active pro. They're at that NBA level. And for those who, aren't aspiring to, go to that level, with the degrees that we do offer is going to prepare them for the business side of esports for sure. And, the opportunities at Northwood, Northwood has a lot of connections. We've sent students to, these Fortune 500 companies, and they're just changing their lives. So I'm happy to support both sides, like you mentioned.
All right. Well, what's your background? What's your academic background for this?
I've been playing video games all my life, so that's a whole separate thing. But academically, I am a marketing major from Northwood University, actually. I graduated 2019.
Huh. And now, are you like a professor or adjunct professor, or what's your position there?
Yeah. After graduating, I have all the experience, I have the education, and currently I'm teaching as an adjunct professor. We do have the esports management degree, which is basically a sports management degree. The crossover is incredible. It's very, very similar. But for things like event management and for things like coaching, two things that I do here at Northwood and have a huge amount of experience doing, I teach to the students that are coming into Northwood to prepare them for a job in esports.
And as you said, esports is a growing industry with a lot of facets, right? They need event management, they need sales and marketing, they need developers, they need a whole bunch of things. It's not just people sitting there writing code. It's the whole, support structure for events like these. Like, how many people are going to be in Turkey for the World Championships? How many teams from all over the world, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, there's probably about 30 teams, 30 different countries. The big ones are probably Canada and Egypt. Egypt has an incredibly strong team. We played them in the semifinals last year, and they're a great team. But it's kind of hard to gauge, who's a professional and who isn't. Everyone's playing video games, everyone's running events, and so for Northwood University, being able to have a degree that says I am an esports professional, that is just going to be a quick shot right into the esports market. You have something to prove. You have job opportunities, you have the education, and you have the experience.
Well, I know in a lot of these esports companies too supply the college teams with high-end computers and the chairs that you and I are both sitting in.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's become like the shoe manufacturers with college athletics, right? These people want these college gamers using their stuff so that they will become customers later, right?
Yeah, that's why they put the logo right on the chair. They want to see the best players playing for X company. And Northwood has been able to do that as well. We've been supplied a lot of physical product by people that want to work with us, and that's very prevalent in esports.
Yep.
All right. Well, be sure to report back to us how you do in Turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Appropriate enough.
Thanks for having me on the show,
Matt.
Okay, thanks very much, Jacob, esports coach, Northwood University. Jacob, what's the website there for the esports program?
esports.northwood.edu.
Okay, check it out.